Okay, so let's create a helper function that will take this image and actually save it to our cloud storage. So class method def save underscore image, and we will take the photo as the input. And actually not only the photo, but we want to take in also the user key if the user has uploaded, so we know whose photo it is. And by default this will be none. And the reason for this is we're going to be using the user ID as part of the name of the file in order to have the most unique file names as possible, so that we avoid some kind of collision of file names, okay? So imagine two users post the exact same recipe. We don't want or the exact same photo, so we don't want there to be any kind of collision. So we'll figure out a way how to maintain the uniqueness using the user key. Before we can continue, we actually need to install, or we need to copy a library of code, which is the Google Cloud Storage library. Okay, so for the moment, let's just hit pass so we don't get an error. And now we need to go to, we need to go to this page. And since the URL is very, very long, I'm just going to copy it and leave it for you guys in the lecture notes. Okay, so go to this URL. Here we see we can install this using the pip command. And the alternative is to download the file directly. So since most of you may not have this pip program installed, I'm going to go here and download it from the file directly so that, you know, hopefully all of you guys can follow along. So I'm going to go ahead and download. Okay, once it's downloaded, I'm going to extract it. And we see that we have a cloud storage folder. So we want to copy this folder. The rest we can ignore. I'm going to open up a new Finder window, navigate to my project. So projects, App Engine, YumSearch2, default. And we will create a new folder here to store our external libraries. Okay, so new folder, call it lib. And inside of this folder, I'll paste the cloud storage folder. Okay, good. So let's close out of that and out of that too. And let's go back here. Okay, we see our lib folder has appeared. And actually, we want to convert this into a package. So what we need to do is we need to create new Python file and just hit double underscore init double underscore. And this will convert it into a lib. Okay, great. So we need to import this library into our code. So what we can say is from lib.cloudstorage import cloud storage API, and now we can actually go ahead and save the image to cloud storage. Okay, so what do we need? What steps do we need to take to save this image? Well, first of all, we need to extract the image title. So let's say image title is equal to photo.filename. Okay. The content of the actual image, so image content is equal to photo.file.read. Okay, we want to read the file to extract the content. And then image type, this is important, we need to know what format the image is going to be photo.type. Okay. So first thing we need to do is we need to specify at which path we are going to save this photo. Okay, so let's say cloud storage path is equal to. Now, if you read the documentation for the cloud storage API, you will find out that every path needs to start out with /gs, so Google Storage. Okay, this needs to be the case so that we know that we are saving it to the Google Cloud Storage API. Okay. So then we can provide our bucket name. So here's where I'm going to cut this and delete the extra lines and paste my bucket name. And then to provide some kind of uniqueness, I'm going to say %s, with which I'm going to substitute with the user's ID, then /%s, with which I'm going to substitute with the image title. Okay, so let's do that. Let's substitute. So user key .id, which will be the first %s, and then image title, the second %s, okay? So this will read GS, YS2, recipe images, the user ID, and the title of the image. Okay, good. Once we have that, we need to create a blobstore key, okay? So the blobstore is App Engine's own way of saving files, such as images. So we need to go through the blobstore to access the Cloud Storage API. I'm not sure if in the future they will want to change this up and just give us more direct access to the Cloud Storage API and not have to use the blobstore. But anyway, for the time being, we need to use the blobstore library to create a key, even though we are storing the item in Cloud Storage API, okay? So we need to from google.appengine.api import blobstore, okay? And now we can say blobstore key is equal to blobstore, the library we just imported, create Google Storage key, and here we can provide the file name we just created, okay, or the path, sorry. So once we have the key created, we can actually write the file to this key. So we can say cloud storage file is equal to cloud storage API dot open, and here we can specify the file name, and the file name is going to be cloud storage path. The mode, we want to open this file up so it can be read or write. Sorry, you guys are not seeing anything. So the mode will be write, so W, and the content type will be our image type. We extracted from the image, okay? Okay. So now we can say cloud storage file dot write, because we want to write the file, and we have to write the image content to it, so img content. Okay, now we want to close this file, so cloud storage file dot close. Okay, good. And now we want to convert this blobstore create Google Storage key into a blobstore key. Now, this is what I was saying. I mean, hopefully in the future we will get more direct access, but for the time being, we need to go through the blobstore API, and we need to turn this Google Storage key into a blobstore key in order to retrieve the URL by which we can actually access the image, okay? So this may be a little bit confusing, but anyway, you know, just go along with this, and hopefully in the future they will fix this up. So blobstore key, because we are going to override the blobstore key, is going to be blobstore.blob key, and we will pass in the current blobstore key. Okay. So once we have the key, we can actually extract the serving URL, so the URL by which we can access this image. So let's say serving URL is equal to, and by the way, here we need to import another library. Again, this is one of the things that I wish they would have improved and put it all in the library. But here we need to import from google.appengine.api import images. Okay, so this images library basically has the getServingURL URL method by which we put our blob key into, and it will retrieve the serving URL. Okay, so hopefully this isn't too confusing. So images, which we just imported, get serving URL, okay, and now we pass in the blobstore key. Okay, good. So now we have everything we want, and we can return a object whose key is serving URL, which I would say is the most important thing. Serving URL. So we're going to pass the key serving URL, and the value is going to be the value of serving URL. And then we can say blobstore key, which we can save as well, is going to be the blobstore key. Okay, good.